Good evening, friends. Today we'll be trying as much to treat how to remove background from a picture on PICSART. One of the things that you should quickly know before we begin is that when you are trying to remove background picture on PICSART, it's best that you pick pictures that are not that do not have similar color to what background it is standing on. And if I want to do that, I'll start from freestyle. I'll select freestyle where the arrow is now. So when I select freestyle, it gives me option of having multiple pictures at once and having a different background from the background of the pictures. So since I have that, what I have to do next is go to the list of, let me go back so I can see it. The lists of things. So I pick recent. Instead of recent, I just go to where the folder is. I can just go straight to my gallery. So when I pick my gallery, it gives me a list of all the pictures. So I just pick out a picture. Let me see a picture that is seemingly close to what I am planning on using. So let's assume that I want to use this picture. I think I like this lady's picture because of the fact that it's far from the foreground is far from the background. So I'll pick that picture. Yeah, let's say I want to use this picture. So I have this picture now. What I will do next is I will add it. Add is here. You can see add here. This is add. I will add it. When I add it, it will open the working space. This is my workspace, and this is the picture I have. So what I want to do is I want to remove background. It's as simple as ABC. I just pick out. Let me move this out of the face of the screen. Oof. I pick out the eraser tool. This is the eraser tool. The eraser tool is somewhere here. It's somewhere around here. You see it up here. You see the eraser tool. So I pick out the eraser tool, and you have list of stuffs underneath the screen. You see person, you see face, you see clothes, you see sky, you see air. If you slide towards, you see air, you see background. So what I want to remember what I want to move is the background, right? More so, you can also see select, restore, erase, and invert under, but that one is something for another time. So what I will select now is background. I'll select background. When I select background, the picture of the lady is gone, right? Since the picture of the lady is gone, I will still have the background left. So what I will do is I will select invert. I'll select invert. Sorry, that's a mistake. I'll select invert. This is invert here. I'll select invert. So when I select invert, it takes out the background and bring back the lady's picture. Now I'm done with that, right? The next thing to do is to click the picture. If I want to make the picture sharper, I will slide down in this list of menu here. I'll slide down. And go to FX. That's something I do consistently. When I go to FX, I pick HDR. That's the one I like the most because it makes the picture sharper. I pick HDR. You can turn it around, or you can even leave it. I can even leave it as it is. Now I've left it as it is. HDR. It is this way. Then what next is I will close this plus button here. I'll close this plus button here. There's a plus button here. I'll click on it so that I will close it. So when I close the plus button here, you can see background. Background that you're seeing there is the major background of my workspace. So I'll pick background here. When I pick background, I'll pick the transparent one, the one that has kind of box is this. I'll pick the transparent one. So when I pick it, the back will be transparent. You can see that. So I can move my picture to whatever I want it to be. Zoom it as much as I want, and as I've done that, I'll just press this forward button. Since I feel like I'm done, I said I feel like I'm done. It's not that you cannot do much more. I'll press this forward button here. So when I press this forward button, it might take some seconds, but pressing the first button now, this picture is on this background, but you can see that it's transparent, right? I'll press the first button one more. So when I press the forward button, it moves me to where I can save. So what I do is I save. I use this save. I save here. When I save, I will not save as upload privately. I will save it as picture on your device. I save it as picture on my device. It's already saved on my device as a picture, like that. So I can use it anytime I want it. That's one step. There's another method of removing background. If you want to put the image in shape. Since I have a back, I already have a blank space. I can remove the past work. I can come back and remove the past work that I've done before, and then go to add photo. I will go to add photo. Say I go to add photo. I want that same image. Now this time I want it differently. So I'll go to pictures. I think our picture should be on pictures. Yes. So this is a picture of us. So I had it. Now this is a picture, but what I want to do is I want to make it a shape. I want to put it in a shape. Now I'll slide down. I'll slide this area, this environment. I'll slide through this environment. You see this environment here. This environment underneath that opacity, underneath the opacity, that environment, that toolbar. I'll slide down to get to shape. When I get to shape, I'll pick shape again. When I pick shape, you have box, you have triangle, you have circle, you have every kind of shape you could have. I'm sliding down so I can see as many shapes as I want. Let's say I want a circle now. I'll pick a circle. Now drag the circle as big as I want and put it where I want it to be. Now let's assume that is where I want it to be. So if I press mark, it has options. Now the circle has options and the like. So I can now go back to these options, all this list of options in my toolbar, add whatever I want to add. Let's say I want to add say I want to add a shadow. If you see the shadow, this, let me show you the shadow. The shadow is kind of extended than the image, right? So what I have to do is I go to adjust. I can give it blurriness. I want it to be so blurry, but I don't want it to be so opaque. So I want to be a bit transparent. So I reduce the opacity. Then I go to position and I drag to 100 in horizontal and 100 in vertical. If I've done that, I can change the color of the shadow, but since black, I think black is the best color for a shadow, so I'll leave it as black. Then I feel like I'm done. If I'm not done, if I want to make the, if I want to invert the image, because maybe I have say for example, the design I'm trying to put this image on is blue, is, I can go to FX. If I go to FX, there are options. You can see recent, simple, FX, B and W, that's black and white, blur, sketch, colors, and so on and so forth. So let's assume I want to use colors now. So I can turn it around and have something different. But you know, most of the time it's not the best thing to do. What I like rather like to do is do FX and make it a bit blurrier. If I don't want to do FX, I can do film, I can do glitch. Glitch is something I have to purchase and I did not purchase it, so it won't work. I can do Grange. All these ones are some things I can purchase. I can do Olga, provided I have it's what I want to use it for that will determine what I want to use. But since I want to use it for another flyer, maybe a flyer that is just for a class like the one we just, that like some classes, graphic design class and the likes. So I do this and I clean it up. Having this now, I have the image of the lady. I can use it on any app. So all I have to do is press the forward button again, like I did the other time. Keep pressing it till it goes to this environment. When it comes to this environment, I can now say save. When I say save, remember I said don't use upload privately, use save. If you upload it privately, it will be on PICSART. It will be like a processing work on PICSART. So I press save. So having saved it, is on my gallery. Let's go to my gallery and let's see if it's there or not. So on my gallery, you can see it's there. That's the lady's picture and the erased one. So this erased one, I can touch it if I want to. There are also other ways to erase. Take for example, I can also do this thing for our picture. I've discarded this picture, so I have to go and bring. Okay, now it's still, thank God it's still there. Let me see, I bring it back. I want to erase it unevenly. I just press the eraser tool I showed you the other time. I press the eraser tool and I come to this area here, and I press erase, and I press that erase. So when I press that erase, it gives me features of what my eraser can look like. Let's say I want to use this one. This is what it will look like when I'm erasing it. This is what the edges will look like. Edges of the image will look like when I'm erasing it. I can also have I can also increase this, reduce this, the opacity. The opacity is such that when I reduce the opacity, the image will still show. You see the image is still showing. But if I don't want the image to show, I just remove the opacity part, and that. The hardness is what the edge of my eraser would be like. See, that eraser edge is kind of blurry, right? What if I make it harder? See, the edge is sharp. Am I correct? So let me go back and do something that is meaningful now. So this is the image. I have my size. Let me reduce the size. Let me leave the hardness. I like the hardness. Oh, I don't like this hardness though. Or the size. So let me reduce the size and see. This hardness is not too good too. So I can reduce the hardness too, so that I can have what what I can get. I feel like this is okay. I feel like it's size problem I have. So I will reduce the size. I keep reducing the size till I get what I'm looking for. Yeah. So let's assume that this is what I want to do. To have evenness in the way I erase. Remember, my hand is sliding through the screen to do all of this you are saying. To have evenness in the way I erase, I have to turn the screen in such a way that I can drag my hand the way I drag it on the top. So when I turn the screen this way. So I have the same dragging for this side. I miss that part out. I turn the screen again. I have the same dragging for this side also. That same dragging method for this side to the bottom. And then I can still turn this image again and have this same dragging again for this side. Let's assume this is what I want to use. I will just mark. When I mark, this is how it will show whatever I want to use. This is exactly how it will show. But I don't want to use this, so what I have to do is back. Say I can okay. Yes, this is important. I quickly tell you. One of those things that you should I can go back and I'll press the erase button. I can go back on what I've done before. What I'll just do is press restore. When I press restore, everything that I've done before will return. So I press restore. The whole image returns. The whole image returns. The whole image returns. So let's assume I want to use this. This is exactly what I would have done. Really, this is exactly what I would have done. I would have done something like this. Something like this. Say the size is small. I can make the size smaller. You can press back to begin again from somewhere you don't like, to return what you don't like back to normal, and then redo the area. So like that, I don't like what I did in the bottom. That's why I press back and I'm doing it again. So the same thing happens when I'm trying to do this. So now this is the work. This is the image of the lady. Remember to make sure that this comes as a transparent background. Only this part of the picture that you edited is showing. You go to this plus sign that you see here in the base. This plus sign here. Go to the plus sign. So I press the plus. I go to background and I use that I use this. I didn't pick that. Let me pick it again. I use this to have a transparent background. I use this. Also, I can also say, okay, I want this image to be on another background that has another color. Okay, now I have this color red, and I want to still work on this image. I'll press the image again and make it transparent such that the red will radiate in the image. Do you see that? That the red radiates in the image. So I have the red radiating on the image. I can remove the whole background of the image totally. Let me see. Yes, I can remove the whole background of the image totally. Just say remove background. The background is out. I return, I invert, and I bring back the image, right? So all I have to do is use transparency. Use transparency to make the red show on the image like this. So the red and the image is showing. So doing this, all of these features can be used for any design. I can take this image now and go and use it somewhere else, wherever I need it, like that, and I will still have the best output. Let me centralize it a bit more. So it's in a square. This is in a square, and I can use this image like this on any other app, like this. So all I have to do is I'll mark it. This is the area of the image that will show. This is how it will show on any app that I want to use it. I'll mark it out and save it like I taught you before. So if I go to my gallery, you'll see the first one I did, the second one, and the last one. That's the output of all those tools. And it's important I quickly remind you that PICSART has a lot of features. I'm just showing you a few features. PICSART has a lot of features. It has text too. It's just that the texts are not really beautiful if you don't buy. So there are some pre-installed text, but they are not really beautiful. You have to buy some more to get the very beautiful text. Majorly, I use this for photo editing to cut out backgrounds. If I don't want to use the website remove PG to cut out backgrounds, I use this directly. I don't have to have data to use this app. Also, that's one of the beauties of this app. Thank you for your time. We'll meet again in the next video.